Okie doke. Hello, Richard Zeleniski. Zeleniski. Let's see. You say, I'm just gonna kind of skim through the timestamps since there's only so many. Even though I won this game, I had the characteristics of a lot of my losses where I get an individual lead and the game still feels very coin flip mid game, especially because I feel like good Evelyns never die unless it's 100% necessary, and they still find a way to get tons of gold and kills to stomp the game. Generally, on something like this, it's like the better Evelyns don't die because they have tried to attack the enemy at the wrong times, throughout playing the champion across multiple months and years. So then they know what they can and can't do. In your case, I think, at least looking at your account, like you're less experienced on Evelynn, so I would imagine that you try to go for a kill, and then it doesn't work out, and whenever that happens on Evelynn, the game's now extended by like 6 minutes, so there's nothing to really correct, at least game to game, with something like that, but I guess we'll see. And then, I know I misplayed this bad. Okay, so the individual play. Are deaths like this pre-6 okay? Okay. Terrible and stupid pathing. Alrighty, so I'm getting I'm getting like the idea that the general idea is like how do we close out a game cleanly in the mid game. So let's see where we get here. Let's do 1.25. Good doke. Get these things off my screen, please. Get all this shit off my screen. Yeah. Okie doke. Sorry, this is my first time using this on Metafy, and I can't download the video either, so it is what it is. I can't believe these things don't, like, go away, though. I can't believe it. Oh, we can just scroll down and they're gone. Perfect. Amazing. Right, so we're against Warwick, and then we start bot side, pathing up towards Renekton. With Warwick, it's actually, like, I would say, like, an okay matchup for Warwick into Evelynn compared to most junglers. Warwick can kind of beat a bad Evelynn if she does things wrong, so we'll see. And then pathing up to Renekton Darius is okay, because to path down to Tristana Shaco isn't as likely, especially where you don't have guaranteed CC, because if we're pathing up to Renekton, then we have guaranteed CC. If we're pathing to Swain against a Tristana with her W to close massive range and a Shaco with a Q to get away, yeah, let's just avoid that. Which is what you're doing, so that's good. We path up. And then we're gonna finish the full clear at... A 320 full clear with leash is a little slow. But the thing is, where there's only about a week left, or a couple weeks left in the season, I don't think it's worth your time to just spend a lot of time in practice tool, since the jungle's going to change next season. It's always worth to give, like, I don't know, 15 minutes to practice your jungle clear every now and then, but... Alrighty, this is really good. Waiting. Okey-doke. This gets a little dicey. Let's see if we could have played it any better. Man, this video takes forever to load. Come on. There we go. So we get the charm. And you hold on the Q. And then as you didn't get the third Q off because you hold it. So even though he has the damage reduction, it's fine to drop your Q because it's going to be up at the same cooldown regardless. And since you don't have the vision of the bush, you don't have the timing to hold it. So missing out on that third part of the Q, every Q dealing about 27 damage. Like an extra auto attack and then maybe that third Q would have been it here, but it's hard to say. Probably not with this chomp. And since you don't have the vision, that's about how it goes. And then, let's see, you say, I know I misplayed this so bad, and it's sad, and I could have just committed in one and used my Q insta after the charm. True. One thing with it, too, is that you're fighting an early game champion, so whenever you're against, like, an Olaf, a Lee Sin, champions like that, after you've done the scuttle, you don't have to attack the enemy jungler, because you want to be getting back to your respawning camps. So in this case, it'd be the golems. And the respawning camps are going to be up around 4:10-ish. So we want to kind of play around that timing. So after you do the scuttle, you can look at top lane and see if it's gankable. Because hitting the lanes is going to have a little bit more impact. In this case, your Cassiopeia died, so then trying to impact around this side, around mid lane, and then attacking the enemy jungler is a little less likely. Even though the Warwick's like half HP, Warwick's is a special case because he has so much healing. So all this like factored in, it makes it where the play is like less likely. And going for it also delays things like getting back to the respawning camps. So anytime I'm on the full clear junglers, it's like I really like to just hit the lane that I path towards and then avoid everything else. Okie doke. And then trying to path for the fizz. This is the same sort of thing. Your play is already done. Once you've done Scuttlecrab and you fought Warwick, that's your first outing. And then you want to look for a recall. And the reason you want to look for a recall is so that you can spend your gold and then get back onto the map towards your respawning golems, so that you can then be pathing up and then look for another play faster with more resources. Because if you stay on the map here, then you're staying on the map with less gold spent, and then you're going to be slower to clear your camps, and then once you've cleared your camps, you won't be able to go for a play because you haven't spent your gold. So this is like a bigger mistake than even fighting the Warwick. With champions like Karthus, Evelynn, even the ramping champions like Talia, Fiddlesticks, like they have to adhere to this to a pretty high degree. The more you avoid like any sort of shenanigans, like the less variance there is. Okay, so we trade 1-for-1, capitalizing on the bot lane being low, off the overstay. It is what it is. Listen, we're against Warwick. It's not like we're losing a whole bunch right there with that one. Ay. Because with Warwick, he's not going to be farming very fast, so even though we're not farming, hey, he's not either. He's playing back and forth with our top laner right there. Alrighty, so we got some kills, and we got the bot side Scuttlecrab. Reset with Swordpin Boots, and then Dark Seal, and then pathing upwards. And then you try to path into his blue side. Let's see what happens here. Does Warwick show fighting top still? No. So I don't see why you try to path into his side of the jungle here. Our mid laner has TP top, our bot lane is reset, and to invade the enemy jungle instead of getting your own camps respawning isn't really in your interest on Evelynn, at least until you're level 6. So it's way more likely that you can have a lethal if you're to invade them here. So this is looking bad. Doke. So we find the Gromp. We do get the Gromp. It is what it is. We got the Gromp. Alive. For now. If any of that goes wrong, then like your full clear is slowed down by quite a bit. Because the Wolves and Gromp are guaranteed. Your Wolves and Gromp. Going into the enemy jungle isn't. Because even if that's warded and you sweep it and then kill the ward, that's still time spent that you could have just already been finished on the Wolves and Gromp, and then the Wolves Gromp wouldn't give you level 6, but that's okay, because then we could reset to red, you could stay on the map to gank top, you could play into the top side waiting for Scuttle, something, but the main thing is like, go to the Wolves and Gromp because they're guaranteed. Going into the enemy jungle definitely makes things messy. Gives the enemy a chance, you know? Whereas if you're farming your own jungle, it's up to the enemy to invade you. And if they spend time invading you, hey, they're not attacking your lanes. How about that? And most of the time you'll get the farm anyways. But we got away with it. We got the Gromp, and now these will give us level 6. And then on the level 6, you could look at top lane. You can choose to skip Gromp here since you have this level 6 off just that camp. And then you could look top lane just to attack it and then get your ulti off faster. But it is what it is. God bless. God bless. Just right as we get there. Very nice. So that's what I like to see, a full clear into the gank. Because then you have full options. Like if it's successful, you take it into the enemy jungle. If not, you could try to go for scuttle. And then if nothing, you can try for a reset. You are looking to attack the enemy jungler too much though. With Evelynn, it's very much like kill all the minor jungle camps and then look to attack a lane. So right here, you could reset. You have enough for Hextech Alternator. And then your golems and raptors are respawned. And then by the time that you clear those, hopefully your wolves and Gromp would be respawned. Since you took this detour into their blue side, that's probably not the case. So in that downtime, you could just hover around mid, see if they fight there. You could honestly be hovering most areas. You could be hovering around the bot side river, take it into the top side, but yeah, mostly just get to the respawning camps and then clear back up once again. Because if you stay on the map here, it's kind of like the first time when you were level 4, and then after fighting the Warwick, you stayed on the map. It's kind of like that, not being as efficient as you can be. With the efficiency coming from you resetting, spending your gold, getting back to your respawning camps. Let me actually just write that out. 1, reset to respawning camps. 2, spend gold. 3, finish clearing the camps faster. And then 4, you're back onto the map for another play. And whenever you use your ulti for a play too, whenever you're doing all of this, you are spending the downtime of your ulti for still productive things because you're getting more gold and then you're getting more XP as well. So you keep rinse and repeating this and you're really, really good to go. The Rift Herald is kind of a minor mistake for the same reason. You're not killing the minor, you're not killing your minor camps. So the Rift Herald is like gold for your team, not gold for you. Not golden XP for you. So I don't like it that much. It also takes some time to kill here. I would much rather like to see doing the golems and then clearing upwards. Oh yeah, with the Evelynn runes, I'm pretty sure you go first strike. I'm not like certain on it, but I know you definitely go Relentless Hunter on Evelynn. I'm not sure if that's changed with newer seasons, but I'm like with Relentless Hunter, it helps you actually get in range to attack the enemy. The Ultimate Hunter like does give you more ultis, like that's the purpose, but if you can't get in range of the enemy, then Evelynn kind of ceases to function. And the way that her ult timing works around her clear, it's not that big of a deal compared to like a Fiddlesticks. And Evelynn never stops farming. Okay, okay. E, Q. Yeah, you have 2 more Qs there. Just give it some time. The Warwick's not going to insta-kill you. Because spinning that ulti is really, really big. And then you don't want to go back onto Warwick. What if Warwick has R right there? You're dead. Like, you don't have the ulti. So that was pretty poorly played. So whenever we go onto Tristana, let me slow this down a little bit. E, Q, and then just 2 more Qs, he's dead. And then if you're watching Warwick and you see his ulti, then you can choose to use your R. But until then, you can hold it. And now you don't have ulti. So there's no reason to try to attack the Warwick with his E going. That gives them an opportunity. No matter what damage you deal here, it's not going to matter. So avoid things like this, like re-engaging without your ulti on Evelynn is a huge mistake. Even though the enemy doesn't punish you here, that's something that can really come back to bite you. Okay, alright. Okay, so you drop the Rift Herald bot. Terrible and stupid pathing, okay? So like this entire time, right? This entire time from when? When did this all start here? This is such a big time investment. So we start the Rift Herald at... It's 8:30. And then it's 11 minutes. The respawned golems and then all the other camps haven't been touched. That's a problem with Rift Herald. Like, that's a big problem with Rift Herald. You don't have the time to do it, and it's just not necessary. What Evelynn wants to be doing is farming all the camps into the play, use her ulti, the ulti's on cooldown, reset, spend your gold, farm all the camps up into the play, the ulti's up, you look for another play. Is the play successful? Awesome. You get more gold, reset, rinse and repeat. The Rift Herald introduces a whole bunch of skipping camps and things like that Evelynn's not good at. All of that to take a turret, which if you take the turrets, then the laning phase ends earlier, and that's not as good for Evelynn as well. So stay on that path. Stay on that path of farming all the camps into a play. Use your ulti. Reset, spend your gold, ulti's off cooldown as you finish your full clear, and you're good to go. That is going to be your bread and butter on Evelynn. If you're doing that, you're having a good early game. Because since 8 minutes, we're so off the path. We are so off the path, not having farmed a camp since then, because then you're going to be even levels with the enemy jungler. If you're even levels with a champion like Warwick that's really flat, then you're losing. You need to have a farm advantage against him. Okay, let's speed this back up. So let's see where we get into the mid game here. So I mean, with the overall theme actually, the overall theme of like how to close out with lead mid game, like step 1, have a good farming path. The good farming path is full clear, into play, reset, spend gold, full clear, into play, effectively. After the first play, make sure you reset. If you're skipping the reset, it better be for a good reason. And 9 times out of 10 on Evelynn, it isn't a good reason. Don't get pulled to plays. Don't gank a second lane unless it's massively obvious. Don't force a play. Reset to your respawning side camp and you're good. You're better than good. Like the enemy won't know what hit him at that point. Let's see. Let's see where we get with number 2 here. We win the dragon fight. We're finally back on farming camps. You love to see it. Fizz making it kind of obvious here, spending his ulti, spending his E. You love to see that. We love it when the enemy does that. Alrighty, nice. And then we're getting the enemy raptors, we're getting the enemy red. Easy position to flank top. Now, even though Darius wasn't showing right, give it some time. Give Darius some time to show top lane and then try to flank here. I mean, we get there. We get there. Same deal, like, give Darius some time. Darius, like, top laners will just be sitting in this bush. It's okay. Okay. We reset. We spend our gold. Listen. Maybe you're right on this one. We spend our gold. The golems, nice. Dropping the red buff for this fight, that's okay. And now your target needs to be the one that uses their like escape first. So we're waiting for Fizz E, and we're waiting for Tristana W. So there's the Tristana W, that should be your target. So you Proto Belt in, and then Q towards the Fizz. Okay, and then we get the... Okay, and then we execute with the ulti. And then everyone's kind of sliding away, so... You now have to choose one here. Both are kind of annoying, Shaco and Fizz. Shaco walks right up to the wave. Use the sweeper to see where Shaco's going. Okay. And then if you red smite, stand your ground, then you're good there. Because the Fizz had already used his E. If you red smite, stand your ground, your Q comes off cooldown, then you're winning. The Fizz jumps on you, Q auto W, you're probably still alive. You would hope you're still alive with a Proto Belt and Hextech alternator, but... Okay. You need to use the W. There you go. Nice. Nice, and Shaco's dead too. Okay, the play is done. Now, option 1, reset, or option 2, go farm. Now, given where the map state is, everything's going to happen pretty slowly, so either one is okay. Given that it's solo queue, I think I would go for a reset, because I can reset to the Gromp here and then farm downwards, and then that would put me around the bot side of the map for a play. Whoever shows up in a side lane I know I could kill, I'd be level 11, and you have enough gold for needlessly large rod. So if all the camps you can farm isn't going to give you Shadow Flame, that's one thing to factor in. But another is like you get onto the map with your gold spent so that the next play that happens, you can be there. Because if you stay on the map right now, your team will do another play probably by the time you finish farming your camp. So, yeah. I think it's better to reset here. Let's see what happens. Okey-doke. Looks like the plays never stop, apparently. Jeez. I mean, if we reset in the tri-brush, you know what I'm saying? Tristana can't reset from base and jump on us on the red buff. You played that fight pretty well, though. So. Just a little bit more confidence whenever the Fizz spins his E, because that's his main damaging ability, and you could have had him a whole lot easier, too. Because Evelynn's Q, man, it's surprisingly like high DPS and low cooldown. If you can survive the enemy hitting you, like it's a really surprising ability what it can do. With a champion like Fizz, his cooldowns are so long too that it's something you can abuse. So the Cassiopeia just reset. Your Kalen's coming from base. If the enemy wants Dragon, they can have it. Trade it for these 3 camps, and then maybe the enemy Raptors, maybe the enemy Golems, and then killing Darius top and taking top turret. The Dragon is whatever. All of this gives us resources. The Dragon gives our team like a little bit of movement speed and ult cooldown. We do not care. Bruh, we do not care. Leave the Dragon. And then if you're looking for an invade, it's kind of the same problem. Our Cassiopeia is right here. Our Caitlyn's right here. We don't have guaranteed CC with the Swain, and we don't know what we're walking into. Yeah, you have a lot of damage. Yeah, you can probably get a kill, but that's not the point. It's like you really open up the map and make things consistent by farming your blue side camps into killing whoever shows up top lane, and then taking that top lane turret, maybe taking the enemy golems, maybe taking the top turret, maybe taking the Rift Herald, maybe intercepting anyone walking from mid. You know what I'm saying? This is to like force the play. Evelynn's not good at this in comparison of just consistently farming your side of the map into a play. Okie doke. Please show them the justice. There we go. There we go. Walking on the enemy side of the map did not work out. And that's how it should be. That's how it should be. The fight works out for our team, luckily. Okay, so how to close out the game. Step 2, take farm into a play. After a successful play, take more. So if you want to invade the enemy jungle, that's going to come from like killing their side lane. So in this case, we could path top to kill Darius. If the enemy was laning bot lane, then it'd kind of be the same deal. You kill them in a side lane, and then now, if you kill them bot lane in a side lane, then now their wolves and Gromp are opened up to you. So that's going to be how you get invades off, not through just walking into their jungle, especially if you're skipping your own camps to do so. So farm everything, I should say. Farm your jungle camps into a play. After a successful play, take more. So that's going to be taking the turret, that's going to be taking the Rift Herald, that's going to be taking the dragon. You take those things after you get a successful play off. And moving into the enemy jungle like that is going to slow things down. Okay, so our entire team dies. We start Rift Herald. It's not the worst thing ever. Nice flank. Oh, Shaco box almost ruined our life. Okay, you've used your ulti, and now you have the option to go farm bot, reset, go top. Yeah, I think those are your good options. We drop Rift Herald mid. Where you don't have ulti here, you don't have to stick around. Okay. Because sticking around is playing chances, resetting for your jungle camps is always going to be consistent. And once you get on that path too, everything starts making more sense. At least it did for me. With Evelynn, it makes it so obvious too. The other jungle champions you can really skip camps on. Evelynn makes it pretty cut and dry. Okay, so our team starts a bad fight. Whenever a bad fight is started, you want to give it some time, because more often than not, the fight's going to be like moving into your team. So if instead of coming from like here, from mid lane, if you go around and then try to flank, then you're probably going to be able to get onto the enemy carries a little bit easier, because most of the time the enemy front line is going to be diving, and then you can get behind and then probably one-shot the enemy carries without even using ulti if they've taken any damage. So I like Tristana's a proto belt kill, you know, because going front to back is always going to be harder on assassins. Alrighty, a proto belt double ulti and they are gone. No more HP for them. So much for Hex Drinker, Darius. Oh yeah, does this even have audio? Naturally, I hear no audio. Okay, okay. If you can get the E, if you can get that E to reach the Tristana, then the damage will apply, and then you can try to ulti as she's midair there. Already another successful fight. So you take the dragon, you have a successful fight, and now you're entering the later parts of the mid game and then going into the late game. So once you enter this stage, it's like your main priority should be to get level 16. Because with level 16, you have your 3 points in your ulti, and that's going to be the decider in the late game. By this time, you probably are maxing out items as well, so the amount of AP isn't really going to augment as much as the level 16 will, and having a bigger range of execute on the ulti. So after the play, you can start taking like all the farm on the map if you wanted to, whatever it takes to get to level 16, within reason. But you can be a little crazy with it. Like if there's minion waves to take them. Chasing the Tristana kill isn't going to change the game here because the amount of AP that we get isn't really going to change. We already have death cap. After full clearing, we're going to have Medjais. So chasing the Tristana might give us an amp tome, but clearing all the jungle camps is going to give us level 15 and a half. And then once we do a full clear after that, we're level 16 and the game is Exodia'd. You know, you have it at that point. So don't chase the Tristana here. And then a reset, man, get some jungle camps, please. Because if you don't take those jungle camps, look, Cassiopeia's taking them, like your whole team takes them. Level 16 is delayed. Aw, man. This is my whole life on fiddlesticks, man. If I'm not taking those jungle camps, my teammates are. And I gotta get level 16. Someone's gotta carry this game. Someone's gotta ult 5 enemies and deal like a billion damage. Make it real obvious. A fight like this would not happen. It would not happen like this if we had full cleared into a reset. Big man, take the red buff. Get level 16. We're begging. You're already killing them to death. So, like, that's the good aspect. It's like, you know how to kill the enemy. We know this. I think just gaining the resources is where you need a little bit of work, which is easier. It's easier for most players to add. So God bless. You have the mechanics. You have the instinct. Now you just got to kill the jungle camps before doing all that. Alrighty, good Baron. We're level 16. We have arrived. Oh, get away from the Shaco. Aww. So when everyone dies with Baron, this delays the game by quite some time. Let's see. So there's Fizz E, so if you want to get in here to kill them, then that would be your time to go in. Okay. We ulti in, get the dragon. Nice. Oh, that was for Infernal Soul. I thought that was like a random... I thought that was a useless dragon. Okay. Well played. I thought it was like both teams had 2/2 dragons. Okay, very nice. So what you can do here, since you're full clear, you're going to get level 17. It's not as important right now. It's going against everything we've been saying. Like, now our level 17 is kind of whatever. Our allies are respawning, and the play has just happened. So whoever gets back onto the map first is kind of winning. So what you can do here is reset, and then buy the blue pot. So get the Elixir of Sorcery. That's going to give you as much AP as you can get, and then look for a team fight. If you win that team fight, you win the game. Farming at this point is to save up for Void Staff, and the game is like on its last leg here. Might as well push it over the edge with your level 16 and with Overt's amount of AP. You buy that, you get into the enemy jungle, and then you kill them. Okay, no problem with ulti here. W. Get some damage off. Right, so we have a lot of time to play with here. With Darius using his abilities like this. So you smite it, and then Proto Belt away. Darius flashes on us. So now let's QE. Let's QWE. Darius will then be slowed. We'll have movement speed. And then you could choose to flash away from there. And that would be a little bit cleaner. And then you can be getting your Qs off as all this is happening, so that your ulti will deal more damage as he's lower. Because whenever Darius uses his abilities like this, he's on pretty massive cooldown. So there's the flash, E, and then the stride breaker, W, and then not even using the Q. So until he uses the Q, something, you can save a lot of your abilities. You have a lot of time to play with. Darius is not going to one-shot you like other champs. But the more comfortable you get on Evelynn, the better you're going to get at that. Because you have where you know how to deal all the damage that's required and then kill them. You have that. If you can get how much damage you can take as well, then you'll be able to squeeze out more damage. That will really help you push some games over the edge. Nice, her ulti just came up. And we're CC'd. Man, come on. I guess we could have red smited the Warwick. Yeah, we would have had to red smite before he ults us. That's our best bet. That CC lasts forever, though. And our allies deal no damage. It's a Warwick moment right there. It's where Warwick really thrives in low elo. People hitting him with wet noodles. So now, since you didn't close out the game like level 16, the enemy has more of an advantage than they should. You should, because if the game's not closed out, it's like they gain more levels, they catch up. Your levels 17 and 18 don't matter as much, and the items you get after like the death cap don't really matter as much. Unless you continue to like really farm and ramp, but it's just not the case here. So to fail to close out really stunts the game and gives the enemy a chance. In a closer game, like it might be the deciding factor. So then it's like how to close out. Well, that's like the skipping the camps, getting the blue pot, and then getting onto the enemy side of the map to find a pick faster. You get that one pick, it's easy enough for your team to push down and win. Things like that. Okay, lots of damage. Proto Belt, nice. Hey guys, push down and end the game. They are dead for 50 seconds. We got this. Thank you, thank you. Okie doke, so my final thoughts. How to close out a game mid-game. Am I missing anything? Okay. Farm your jungle camps after the play, and then into the mid-game. You keep rinse and repeating this so you full clear into a play, but then after it's successful, then how you take that further, is going to be like you play on the enemy side of the map. Because what most Evelynn gameplay kind of looks like is you being like, say, like the lane's being pushed and then you get into a position in their jungle or in the lanes themselves, so attacking anyone that shows up in a side lane. But I would say in lower MMRs, you're going to be able to find more people somewhere in like these entrances of the jungle and then pick them off. And then if nobody shows there and they show mid lane, then you have a flank if you're in their jungle to begin with. So look for more things like that rather than doing like front to back fights into the mid and late game. And that's going to be how you can actually assassinate the carries, get picks, and kind of take over a game. Take over a game like in the game, because you kill one person, the enemy team like kind of falls apart, and that's going to be how you close out the game at least. So get strong, keep farming, go like farm into a play and then reset, spin your gold. Continue to do that into the mid game. Into the mid game whenever the plays are successful, then you can start being more aggressive, moving on to the enemy side of the jungle, or moving up the side lanes, like trying to get a pick. And then once you get a pick, then you can really do something from there. But you're not looking for standard team fights. You're not looking to respond to team fights. And then everything's kind of good on Evelynn. So yeah, hope that helps. If you have any other questions, feel free to message me. And yeah,